That's it for today's Forgotten Tale. If this story made you raise an eyebrow or don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that dusty little bell so you never miss another echo from the past. Drop it in the comments. We're always listening for new echoes. Got a weird bit of history you think we should cover? Until next time, keep your curiosity loud and your history weird.
Deep inside a medieval monastery, a single book whispered of damnation. The monks called it the Codex Gigas, the giant book, its nickname, the Devil's Bible. Not because of its words, but because of its legend. They said it was written in one night, by a single monk, with the help of Lucifer himself. The story begins in 13th century Bohemia.
Out of us!
A small, quiet place far from royal courts. One monk stood accused of breaking his vows. The punishment was death. A slow, cruel death being walled up alive. Desperate, he begged for mercy. He made a wild promise. He would create a book containing all human knowledge. He would do it in one night. The monks agreed, mocking his arrogance. He worked as the sun set, wrote page after page with frantic speed. Midnight struck, and the task was far from done. He felt his hands tremble. He felt doom creeping closer, so he turned to the only power left. He prayed to Lucifer. He offered his soul for help. Silence filled his cell. Then, they say, the devil appeared. The air grew thick with sulfur. The monk struck a deal. Lucifer guided his hand through the night. By dawn, the book was complete. The other monks were stunned. Hundreds of pages stood bound together. The writing was perfect. The letters were the same size from start to end. The colors glowed like jewels. Maps, histories, and the Bible itself filled its pages. But one page chilled their blood. A full portrait of the devil, horned, fanged, crouched on red claws. Alone on the page, no words around him. His green face grinned with hunger. His eyes gleamed like wet stones. The monks gasped. They named it the Devil's Bible, and they hid it away. The book was enormous. It weighed nearly 75 kilograms. It stood almost a meter tall. No other manuscript in Europe matched its size. Its pages were made from over 160 animal skins. The ink had barely faded after centuries. The script was eerily uniform, as if written without pause. Experts say it would take 20 to 30 years to write, yet the legend insists it appeared overnight. People whispered that no human could do this. Only a demon could. The monastery tried to deny the story, but it spread like wildfire across Europe. Pilgrims came to see it. They crossed themselves before the devil's portrait. They touched the pages with shaking fingers. They feared it might curse them. They feared it might speak. Scholars grew obsessed. They argued over its origin. Some saw it as a miracle. Others called it witchcraft. Some even claimed it glowed at night. The book seemed to survive every disaster. Fires spared it. Wars passed over it. Plagues never touched it. People said Lucifer was guarding his prize. The Codex Gigas became famous across kingdoms. Kings borrowed it for their courts. Alchemists sought secret spells within its margins. Astrologers traced strange diagrams on its maps. Priests muttered prayers when they opened it. It inspired fear and desire. Power and damnation bound in leather. The monk who made it vanished from the records. His name was erased. No grave marked his passing. Some said the devil took him away. Some said he wandered the earth forever. Others said he still guards the book, waiting in the shadows, watching those who touch it. Centuries later, the book changed hands again. In 1594, the Holy Roman Emperor acquired it, locked it in his imperial library. Then the Swedes came, looted Prague in 1648. The Devil's Bible was taken as spoils of war. It traveled to Stockholm, where it still rests. And the whispers followed it across the sea. The Codex Gigas is not only enormous, its contents are unlike any other manuscript of its time. Open its first pages. You find the complete Latin Bible, written in flawless calligraphy. No corrections, no smudges. Every line is clean as printed text. Then the book shifts. It includes medical texts from Hippocrates and Theophilus, astrological charts, magical formulas, exorcism rituals, a list of demons and their powers, a calendar of saints' feast days, legal codes from the Holy Roman Empire, histories of Jerusalem and Bohemia, even recipes for treating fevers. It feels like a medieval internet in parchment. But the strangest part waits in the middle. The page with the devil, alone crouched, massive, surrounded by blank parchment. No words explain why he is there. Opposite him sits a picture of the heavenly city. Gold walls, towers of light. Scholars think this contrast was intentional, good and evil staring each other down, as if the book itself were a battlefield. People feared to linger on the devil's page. Some claimed it made their heads spin. Some claimed it cursed their families. A monk once touched it and collapsed dead, so the story goes. Others said the devil's eyes follow you, no matter where you stand. The book seemed alive. Pages made faint cracking sounds at night. Guards reported whispers near its display case. Visitors fainted. One man screamed and ran. He claimed he saw claws reaching from the parchment. The legend of its curse grew stronger, and it attracted even more attention. In the 19th century, scientists began studying it. They wanted to separate fact from superstition. They measured every page. They counted every word. They tracked the handwriting. Shockingly, they found it was all by one person. Script never changes style or pressure. No aging of ink between sections. This means one monk wrote it alone, over decades of steady work. Not one frantic night. But legends ignore facts. The cursed stories kept spreading. Even the scientists grew uneasy. One dropped out of the study after nightmares. He dreamed the devil came to collect the book. He swore he woke with claw marks on his arms. Another scholar locked it in a metal vault. He refused to stay in the room with it after dark. Modern researchers analyzed its materials. The parchment came from about 160 donkey skins. The ink was made from crushed insects and copper salts. The binding used oak boards and leather straps. The pages still turn easily, despite 800 years. The colors stay vivid, no fading. The shocked conservators. They said it should be decaying. Some whisper Lucifer preserves it. The book's structure also puzzles experts. Its Bible section follows the Vulgate text. But some passages are altered, verses missing, verses rearranged, as if the scribe edited scripture itself that fueled new rumors. Maybe Lucifer guided his pen. The codex includes full-page diagrams, zodiac signs and planetary tables, charts showing when to pray, bleed, or plant, a medieval survival guide. It also lists the names of demons, their ranks, their powers, their weaknesses. It describes how to summon angels and banish spirits. These pages drew occultists like moths. They copied symbols into their own grimoires. Some tried to summon the monk who made it. None succeeded or none returned. One alchemist swore he heard voices from the book. They told him secrets of gold. He went mad within weeks. People began calling the codex a doorway between our world and something else. After centuries in Bohemia, the Codex Gigas gained new masters. Kings and emperors fought to own it. In 1594, Emperor Rudolf II took it to Prague Castle. Rudolf was obsessed with the occult. He filled his court with alchemists and astrologers. The Devil's Bible became his prized treasure. He locked it in his private study. He showed it only two favored guests. Some said he consulted it before battles. Some said he spoke to the devil's portrait. Rudolf's empire crumbled around him. His court collapsed in chaos. The book remained untouched. In 1648, the 30 Years' War reached Prague. Swedish troops stormed the castle. They looted its treasures: gold, jewels, and the Devil's Bible. The book crossed the Baltic Sea. It entered the Royal Library of Sweden. And it never left. Stockholm became its new home. It survived centuries of political turmoil. New kings rose and fell. The codex stayed silent and still. In 1697, fire ripped through Stockholm Castle. Flames devoured the royal library. Books turned to ash. The Codex Gigas should have burned. It did not. Witnesses said it was thrown from a window. It hit the ground intact. Only its cover was scorched. People called it proof of its curse. Others called it a miracle. The book endured. Librarians stored it in the National Library of Sweden, where it still rests today. Behind thick glass, under controlled light and air, visitors line up to see it. They press their faces to the glass. They stare at the devil's portrait. Some smile, some pale, some step back quickly. The aura has not faded. Even digital scans unsettle viewers. The devil's grin feels alive. Scholars continue to analyze it. They count strokes of ink. They test parchment fibers. They map the order of pages. They seek clues about the unknown monk. His name is still missing. No record of his crime exists. No note of his death. Some think the monastery erased him. Others think he erased himself, to walk forever as the book's ghost. Folklore says his spirit haunts the library. Guards report cold drafts near the glass case. Cameras sometimes glitch around it. Batteries drain faster near the display. Visitors hear faint scratching sounds. The legend keeps growing. Pop culture embraced it. Novels feature it as a cursed grimoire. Films show it summoning demons. Games use it as a source of forbidden knowledge. It became an icon of medieval mystery. Even skeptics admit its aura is strange. No other manuscript inspires the same fear or the same awe. The Codex Gigas blends faith and fear, holds sacred scripture and demonic lore side by side, a paradox bound in leather. It reminds us how thin the line once felt between heaven and hell. Medieval monks saw the world as a battlefield. Angels and demons fought for every soul. The Codex reflects that struggle. It is both Bible and warning. It's both light and shadow. It carries the ambition of one man, for the bargain of one soul. Modern curators treat it with caution. Gloves, sensors, and alarms protect it. They move it rarely. They turn its pages with precision machines. Even sunlight is filtered away. The Codex has outlived kingdoms. It has outlived plagues and wars. It has outlived the faith that built it. Yet its legend thrives. People still whisper it was made in a single night. People still whisper the devil's hand touched it. Maybe the truth no longer matters. What matters is the fear it stirs and the wonder. The devil's Bible endures silent, waiting, watching.